thanks for joining us for another episode of Melissa's Menu. I'm your host, Melissa Green, and tonight on the menu, we're going to be making garlic crusted codfish, smashed sweet potatoes, and baby greens with champagne vinaigrettes. You want to make sure when you go into the food store that the fish does not smell after they give it to you. Right away, that's a dead giveaway that the fish is bad. Your best bet is to go to a local fish market where you know it's fresh. Usually they catch it the day of or the day before, and you can't go wrong that way. Another word for sweet potatoes are yams. Yams, sweet potatoes, same exact thing. They're orange in color. They're very large. You can find them at any regular food store. Just want to make sure you scrub them first. Prick them with a fork a few times on top, and then pop them in the oven. You can actually just pop them in the oven, take them out, split them down the middle, add a little bit of cinnamon, butter, salt and pepper, and you can just eat it that way, or you can make a side dish like I did. First, we have 6 sweet potatoes that are already baked, 375 for 1 hour. We're going to take these out. Want to make sure they're cool enough to touch. And you can always tell when the sweet potatoes are done because they're squishy. Sweet potatoes are very healthy. That's why I chose this for this dish. What we're going to do first is cut the potatoes right down the middle. And we're just going to scoop out the flesh from the inside of the potatoes and put them right in the electric mixer. This one I've already checked. So, I'm going to take this out. As you can see, they're nice and cooked in the middle, nice dark orange. We definitely do not want the skins in there, so just scoop out the flesh. They should actually pop right out, which they are, which is great. Another way that you can tell that they're done. The electric mixers are fantastic to use. They're so much easier than the hand mixers. However, you can use either one. And we've just got one last one. This is going to feed about 6 people. If you want to make more, just double the recipe. It's a very simple recipe. Okay, we've got the last one going in. And we are now ready to add the flavors that really make this. Okay, we're going to add a 1/2 cup heavy cream, a 1/2 cup orange juice. So we're going to start with those. Pour this right into the mixture. The sweet potatoes smell so good. The heavy cream makes this a little bit fattening, but it definitely gives it a lot of flavor. We're going to add 2 tablespoons melted butter right here. We're going to add a 1/4 cup brown sugar. You can either use a light brown sugar or dark brown. Either one doesn't matter. And then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of ground nutmeg. The nutmeg is actually a very strong flavor, but it goes so well with this dish. We're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon. In the same family, just not nearly as strong as the nutmeg is. Just going to eyeball this. Looks about right. And then finally, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sea salt. Regular salt is fine if you don't have the sea salt. And 1 teaspoon of the black pepper. And that's it. Very simple. We're going to put the mixer on medium for just about 1 minute. We don't want the mixture to be pureed. We want it to be coarse. We don't want it to be soupy like baby food. So we want it to be a nice, coarse texture. So the sweet potatoes are all done. Take a look at the mixture, and you can see what I'm talking about when I say coarse. See how it's not pureed at all? It's a little chunky, it's a little thick. That's exactly what we want. So what we're going to do is take the mixture, mix it up a little bit here, and we're just going to put it in a baking dish. This is going to go in the oven at 375 for just about 30 minutes. Oh, this smells so good. You can see the black pepper in here, little specks of the pepper. You can smell the orange juice. You can smell the brown sugar. It's just such a great dish. Pack that down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to pop this in the oven. It's already preheated at 375 and just about for 30 minutes. And I'll check on that periodically. Okay, we're ready to start the next dish, which is the garlic crusted codfish. I absolutely love this dish. It's so easy to make. You can really use any kind of fish, any kind of white fish. We're using cod tonight, fresh cod. You could use tilapia, you could use haddock. Any white fish goes really good with this recipe. So what we're first going to do is add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter to the pan. We're just going to put on low. I love the gas ovens. They're so easy to cook on. So I'm just going to eyeball this, 2 tablespoons. There we go. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of the extra virgin olive oil. Just going to eyeball that as well. Just let that melt for a minute. And just turn this up just a little bit. I've been making this recipe for years, actually, and it's always a big hit. Fish is very healthy for you, as most of you know. I try to cook with fish about once a week. So that's just about melted. We're going to add 6 cloves of garlic next. Hence the name garlic crusted codfish. That sounds like a lot of garlic, but it packs such a powerful flavor to this dish. And garlic, I've said it before, makes everything taste so much better. So this is just about melted. Go ahead and add the garlic. I've already got it minced. You can chop it, mince it. You can use an electric food processor, or you can just chop it by hand, either way. So add this in. Now the thing with the garlic is we don't want it to brown. We just want it to be soft. So it's just going to take about 1 minute in the pan to soften. There's nothing worse than burnt garlic. So we just want that to soften about a minute. And we definitely want it to sizzle a little bit. Turn it up just a tad bit. I think I might even add a little bit more olive oil. There we go. I like to use the extra virgin olive oil. You can use regular olive oil if you like. I guess you could use vegetable oil, but this is definitely healthier. Okay. The next step we're going to do is simply take this off the burner, put it aside so it's not cooking any longer, and put that right over here. The garlic has such a strong fragrance, but it smells so good. We're going to add 1 cup seasoned breadcrumbs. You can use regular breadcrumbs. You can use homemade breadcrumbs if you like. I prefer the store-bought kind. It's a little bit easier, and definitely the seasoned gives it more flavor. So we're going to add the breadcrumbs right in the pan. We're going to add a 1/4 cup chopped parsley. Make sure you get the fresh parsley. Much different taste than getting the parsley that's already in the bottle. And just give this parsley just a rough chop, but a 1/4 cup of parsley. Parsley you can really use for any sort of dish. It goes so well with everything, chicken, fish, and it's great for garnish as well. So we're going to use a little bit at the end to garnish the dish as well. Doesn't have to be too coarse, but just definitely make sure it's chopped all the way through. We're just going to add this right in the pan with the breadcrumbs. And what we're going to do now is just mix together the mixture. We've got the butter, we have the extra virgin olive oil, we have the garlic, the breadcrumbs, and the parsley. And those are the main ingredients for this dish. It's very easy. This is going to be what we're going to coat the fish with. So we just want to make sure everything is mixed together. It's nice and moist. Okay. I think that just about does it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 eggs and we're going to dredge the cod with the egg mixture, and that's going to give it the glue so the breadcrumb mixture sticks together. So 2 eggs. We're just going to whisk this up real quickly. And like I said, we're just going to take each piece of the cod, dredge it into the egg. We're going to dredge it next after that into the bread mixture and then just put it in the oven. So let's go ahead and start. I kind of like to have an assembly line set up here. We're going to use an oil line roasting pan and make sure that's coated with extra virgin olive oil so the fish doesn't stick on the pan itself. So we're going to go ahead and take the fish 1 piece at a time. Sorry. So I've got my assembly line all ready here. I've got the egg, dunking that. It's a little bit messy, but it's so worth it. We're just going to kind of cover this with the breadcrumb mixture. Again, this has the garlic in it, has the parsley. Looks about good. And just kind of shake it off at the end. Put that right on the pan here. So there's our first piece. I have 6 pieces, which is about 2 pounds of the cod. Same exact thing, just keep doing this until the mixture's empty. You are going to get your hands dirty for this, but that's quite all right. Now this piece of cod has a little bit of the tail, as you can see. So just for the cooking, I just kind of wrap the tail underneath. more or less for presentation. I love presentation. This is great for dinner parties. Okay, there's my third piece. Now the cod actually doesn't take very long to cook. Whitefish in general doesn't take very long. This is going to take about, I'd say 12 to 15 minutes for the cod to cook. And we just want it to be flaky. So we'll check on it in the oven afterward, after we've had it cooking for a little bit. It smells absolutely delicious. Okay, I've got 2 more pieces here. You should use just about all of the mixture. Whoops, got the fork in there. Actually, your kids could help you make this dish. It's that easy, and I'm sure you know how kids love to get their hands dirty, so this would be a good dish for them to help you with. I'm running out of room, as you can tell, so I need to kind of move the fish around a little bit here so everything fits on. We've got 1 small piece left, which is just going to be enough room here. Okay, so done with the egg mixture. And you can see I'm using my hands to coat the fish with. And that's because I had taken it off the burner, put it onto another burner that's completely cool. So I'm not burning my hands at all. And just pat it down like that. And that's it. Put this right at the end, which fits perfect. I'm just going to take a little bit of the leftover breadcrumbs and just kind of sprinkle it on the top. And this is going to go right into the oven. 375, about 12 to 15 minutes. So the fish is all ready to go in the oven. Put this in. Oh, the potatoes smell so good. They're already baking in there. So I've got the fish on top and the potatoes on the second rack. We're ready for the last dish, which is the baby greens with a champagne vinaigrette. This is such a simple recipe. It literally has 5 ingredients. Very easy to make. Take a bag of baby greens from the grocery store. You can really use any kind of lettuce. You could use romaine if you want, spinach leaves. I just have a mixture of the baby greens that I'm using. To that, for the sauce, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. And we're also going to use 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. You can use reduced fat mayonnaise. I'm using regular mayonnaise. And to this, we are going to add the main ingredient, which is the champagne vinegar. We're going to take a 1/4 cup of the champagne vinegar and add this. Now, a little tidbit about vinegar in general. Any unopened vinegar lasts for about 2 years in a cool, dry pantry. And if it's open, anywhere from 3 to 6 months. After that, you do not want to use it. It's going to taste very bitter. The champagne vinegar can also be used for marinades. It's a nice, light, and mild vinegar. It's great for salad and vegetables. It's a light vinegar, but it bears a lot of similarities to a really good champagne. And it's going to give the salad a really nice zing to it. Probably have it. Hannaford, any of your local grocery stores actually should carry the champagne vinegar. So we have the 3 ingredients so far. Now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Actually, I'm just going to eyeball it. about right. And then we're going to use about maybe a half teaspoon of the black pepper. The good thing about this recipe, you don't really have to measure the salt and the pepper. Just kind of taste it as you go along. Looks about right. And now we're going to add our last ingredient, which is 1 cup extra virgin olive oil. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to slowly add it into the mixture and whisk it as we go. We want it to be a nice thick consistency. Just about right. So while that, slowly mix it together. There we go. And that is it for this dressing. Very, very easy dressing. If you don't have any champagne vinegar, you can actually use white wine vinegar as well. That works just as well. We're just going to pour this right over the baby greens, toss it up, and it's ready to go. This is going to serve about 4 to 5 people. It smells so good. You can actually smell the champagne vinegar in this dish, which is really good. So the salad is all complete. Now I'm going to go ahead and check on the fish. It should just be about done, as well as the potatoes. Let's open up the oven here and check on everything. Oh, it smells delicious in here. Now, like I mentioned before, you want the fish to be just flaky. You don't want to overcook the fish. Fish is going to be about another 2 minutes, I'd say. Let me check the potatoes. Yep, same thing with the potatoes. So we're just about done. We're going to go ahead and slice a few lemon slices for the cod for the garnish, and then I like to sprinkle a little on top at the very end as well. The easiest way to get the lemon juice out of a lemon, I use this method all the time. Very easy. Roll it right on the counter. Doesn't have to be on the cutting board, whatever you have in front of you. You can also pop it in the microwave for about 10 to 20 seconds, and that will get the juices flowing. Just slice this right down the middle. You can actually cut it the way that I just cut the length, or you can actually cut it this way as well. Either way is fine. This way it's going to make more pieces, more wedges. Definitely use fresh lemons, by the way. Lemon juice in the store just doesn't cut it. They add a lot of sweetener to it. Another tidbit of information with lemons. If you're adding lemon juice to anything, as you know, there's a lot of seeds in the lemons. Squeeze it with your hand like this, with your hand completely closed. All the juice will come out from your fingers, and all the seeds will be left in the palm of your hand. Great little trick I learned from my grandmother. Okay, so we've got the lemon. Now let's check on the fish and check on the potatoes. I can already tell by looking that the fish is done. It's got a nice brown top. Let's take that right out here. Before we go any further with plating the meal, I just want to make sure the fish is cooked. It looks nice and brown on top, which is exactly what you want to look for, but you want to make sure it's flaky inside. It's cooked perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and take the potatoes out of the oven now. The potatoes look wonderful as well. Take Look how beautiful the potatoes came out. They're just You want them a little crusty on top, just like that. And now it's time to plate up one of the dishes. We're going to first put some potatoes on the bottom of a plate. Oh, these smell absolutely wonderful. Put these right on the bottom here. And then we're going to go ahead and add a piece of the fish and put that right on top. We'll take the middle one right here. But make sure you do not get any of the tin foil on the plate. Right on top there. Oh, look at this so far. Doesn't it look fantastic? And lastly, we're going to add the lemon garnish. Now, I personally like to add a little bit of the lemon on top of the fish. You don't have to. Some people don't like lemon. I'm going to use a little trick that I showed you by just lightly squeezing it. And as you can see, the lemon juice is only coming out. And then let's just put 2 pieces for garnish beside of it. And finally, we're going to plate up the salad, the baby greens with a champagne vinaigrette. Now, you can use as little or as much vinaigrette as you like. Some people like a lot of dressing, and some people just like it very lightly dressed. I happen to like a lot of dressing. Let's put a little bit here in the bowl. It smells wonderful. So, there you have it, folks. We have the baby greens with a champagne vinaigrette dressing, the smashed sweet potatoes, and the garlic crusted codfish. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us tonight for Melissa's Menu. If anyone has any comments, suggestions, or any recipes that they'd like me to try, please send me an email to melissasmenu@gmail.com. Tune in next week to see what's on Melissa's Menu. Good night.